Hello everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be talking about the top 9 most valuable 20th century dollar heirs, varieties, and key dates that you might be able to find in your exchange or just in general in the coin collecting adventures that you go on. And what I mean by 20th century dollars, it's Eisenhower dollars and Susan B. Anthony dollars. I'm aware that Morgan's and Peace ones were minted earlier. These aren't going to be focusing on any of those. And that's just kind of the term that I decided to designate. So with that being said, we're going to be talking about their values and the ways to identify these heirs, varieties, or, just giving a shout out to a specific date that's worth a lot of money. And coming in at number 9 is the 1979 P Susan B. Anthony Wide Rim coin. So obviously it's going to have the P mint mark, but it's the wide rim that designates it as a special variety. You'll be able to tell because the 1 is much closer to the side of the coin compared with the regular narrow rim. Since it's not a super rare variety, it's not going to be worth a ton of money. It's about $10 in most conditions that you're finding it in. If there's, a really good example, maybe you'll bring up to $100, but I'd kind of count on the figure being more towards 10 than 100. Number 8, we have the 1971 S Proof Eisenhower peg leg. So this is an Eisenhower dollar, not a Susan B. Anthony, and then there's the Liberty across the top of the coin. Most times in the R, you see it'll kind of have this curved, I don't exactly know the word for it, but there's a curved kind of edge on the bottom of the R with the peg leg. So it says serifs here. You don't see kind of the thickness of the R kind of going out into the coin. It's more like a rectangular shape. Obviously, it's slightly a rectangular, but there's a clear difference here, and that's kind of the point. And this, again, is similar values between $10 to $30, and you'll find these mostly on proofs. I know that there's this photo is not of a proof. You can also find it on non-proofs, but I think it's more known as a proof variety, and I don't think the values change considerably between the two. Number 7, we have the 1972 P Eisenhower Dollar Type III. So there's 3 main types: Type 1, Type 2, Type 3. We'll be getting to Type 2 later, and I'll have a different graphic to represent it, but the Type 3 is what we're talking about right now. So on the normal coin, you have a very protruded Florida and then 3 separate islands, and then, on the Type 3 coin, it's going to be slightly different, a little bit less detail, especially in kind of the New England and Canada part up here, not quite as much detail. And then I think down here, this represents what South America. It's not going to be as pronounced here. And then you'll see the islands again, not as kind of lumped together. So this is the Type 3, and the values on that are going to be between $10 and $150. But again, trending towards the lower, but definitely significant. And if you have a 72p, just check the earth quickly on the back, because you never know, and I'll be talking about the Type 2 later. Next up, at number 6, we have the 1973 S Proof Eisenhower Dollar. This is a silver coin. I should have indicated that in the title, but gotta be silver, and it's just kind of one of the better dates. It's not a crazy premium compared to Proof Eisenhower silver dollars. It once was. The values have since significantly declined, but this goes for between $20 and $50. The regular version would be about $15 for most other dates. So there's a little bit of a premium, and definitely a notable premium. Always check your Eisenhowers to see if they're silver, too, just as a rule of thumb. And then we're going to go into ones where the value gets a little bit greater. Next is the 79 S Susan B. Anthony Proof Type 2. There's a clear S. It's pretty self-explanatory. The clear S is not the filled S. The filled S, there's no space in the S, where in the clear S there's 2 distinct spaces where the proof strike will show through. This is going to be a minimum of a $40 coin, so that's a serious jump from the $3 or $4 that the proof filled S will command, and that can go all the way up to 160. So slightly significant higher end, and that brings us to Number 4, the 1972 P Eisenhower Type II. So we were talking about the Type III before, but on the Type II, the continents are crudely drawn. The islands are conjoined, as it says here. And then you also see like much more crudely drawn continents. Here there's more delineation. Here's more delineation. Here, it's a clear difference in the kind of Texas area compared. And it's like not as detailed. The islands, you see a much less level of detail. And this will bring about $50 at the minimum and range up to $800. So again, more significant money there. Number 3 is our top Susan B. Anthony for this presentation. It's the 1981 S Type II proof. So similar, it's like a flat S or a clear S. It was referred to as flat S where I saw it, but I think it's a similar thing before. You have the filled S over here, the clear S over here. This may even be the same photo, just at a different angle, but or maybe it's closer zoomed in. But there's definitely again a difference between the two S's, and you'll be seeing a more filled S here. I think that it's a little more ambiguous in terms of what's a clear S and what's a filled S. On the 81 variety, sometimes you will have a clear S and it'll be a little more filled in, closer to Type 1. I'm not an expert on this. I'm learning along with you guys as I do these series, so I'm super open about that. But the value here, we're talking about $70 up to $350, so more valuable than the 79 for sure. Always check your 81 like proof sets or any 81 proof Susan B. Anthony's for this variety. And then now we kick up into the significant value stuff. Right here we have a 1971 S Proof Eisenhower Type I reverse. I don't really understand this particularly well, but there's apparently on this, and it's kind of difficult to see, I guess, but there's some slight doubling on the obverse in God We Trust, coupled with faint tripling on the reverse. So I think you can see that a little bit kind of along here. And then you also see the use of the Type 1 reverse hub, as seen over here. And then there's not like above the LL, there's not like as much of a clear outline around the meteor crater, I've heard as well. I'm kind of still trying to comprehend it, but it's definitely a rare error. The normal reverse for the Proof 71S dollars was the Type 2, so it's like the wrong reverse basically. There are only like 2 or 3 of these found, so if you find one of these, definitely it's a seriously valuable coin. I think there's like 3. They're all between $6,000 and $10,000, so that's all the way up to the early 5 figures. So I mean, that's serious money. I'm going to do a quick 1.5. This is not sponsored, though I would like to do a video on these. I haven't researched or understood this enough. The Ike group is a popular group for Eisenhower Dollar collecting, and they've found 2 prototypes, the Lydston and Chatham prototypes, which are supposed to be rare, so I'm going to be talking with them at some point in the future. We don't have any plans yet, though we have gone back and forth. And we'll find out more about if we're doing a collaboration, but I don't know exactly the values, but I assume that they're pretty high. So these, there are more varieties out there, but number 1 by far takes the cake. There's only one known, and it's the 1976 Proof Eisenhower Type II No S. So, it's a No S coin. That there's always going to be value when it's a No S coin, but this specific one, there's only ever been one found, and if you found a second one, that would be incredible. This is a unique coin, and it's valued at $450,000. So, this is going to be a proof Eisenhower. I'm sure I'll get a lot of people saying, hey, I have a 76 Eisenhower with no S, because that's what they always say on the other videos, but it has to be the proof strike. So as you can see, there's these cameo fields, or just deep kind of proof mirrored fields. That's super important. If you just have a regular strike, probably going to be worth $1. But if you have the no S, that's when you're talking about far into the six figures, like a major salary for a year, that would be an incredible, that could be salary for 10, 20 years. I don't know, but yeah, so this is the one to look for. If you find it, that would be incredible. Let me know. Maybe hit me with a couple, if you 1%, that would be awesome. That'd be crazy. But anyways, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. That all means a lot to me. And I'll see you on some of my other videos. We have a big hunt of this type, Susan B. Anthony's and Eisenhower's, coming up. And that'll be exciting too. So I'll see you on that one.